Often when we go in search of history, we look for old trails and roads, castles, battlefields, hill forts, standing stones and the like. But today I'm going to explore a subterranean chamber, and it's a souterrain with a difference. It's very far south here, not far from my own home in Midlothian. Normally, subterranean chambers, souterrains, are to be found in the north of Scotland, particularly in the northeast where Pictish tribes thrived. But we have one here in the lands of Crichton. Most people visit this place because of its castle and its church. And Crichton Valley is a beautiful place. Truth be told, I came out here to film this yesterday. Now where I'm going is extremely dark, very muddy and slippy, and it's damp and it's dank in there. And I got covered in mud. But when I got home, the mic on my camera, the cable was obscuring part of the screen, so when I viewed it at home, I've come out here to do it once again. I've never been here 2 days running, but something is pulling me towards this place. And this place, like I say, has a difference from the other subterranean chambers in Scotland. As I say, I was here yesterday and I got completely soaked in mud, and now I've got to go in and do it all again. But you know, that amuses me. This land here was at one time a settlement. It had to be. But we have to ask, because archaeologists and historians are unclear just what these souterrains, these subterranean chambers, were for. Were they simply for storage? A pantry type of thing? To store grains, foodstuffs and liquids and keep them cool? Were they for defence? To me, they would be a poor means of defence, because there is only one entry and exit point. If they're seen going in, there's no way of escape, unless they used them to hide out here. Or were they used for ritualistic purposes? Did they commune with their gods and their deities through the underworld? I think a mixture of the first one and the latter is very feasible. This place can be extremely damp. It certainly was last time I was here, and certainly the torches needed, but I'm looking forward to going in this time. It's much milder weather, so hopefully The water on the floor is good. It's a narrow opening once you get in there, but once you're in, it's phenomenal. Extremely slippy here, very muddy. Oh, I've almost slid down that whole way. And here we are as we come into this chamber where you can almost stand up. Quite amazing. I'm also going to bring my other torch out. Wow. This fabulous window in here, marvellously carved. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. As you can see, quite a layer of water in here. Many candles. So this has been in use. And here we have another small alcove into the rock here. It's absolutely dripping here. But we are way back in time. We are way back in time, in times of long ago, pre-Roman and post-Roman. Walking into the water here, quite amazing. Some graffiti left from the 60s in here. Really amazing. Really amazing. What I've done is I've taken the microphone off just to eliminate the shadow from the microphone. Look at this roof here. This is absolutely amazing. These Roman carved stones here, very well dressed stones, definitively Roman. They are amazing. But there is one thing in here. Now, we don't know much about the Romans that were here, but what we do know is which Romans were here. Wow. I am standing at full height, and I am about 6 foot. Here is the beauty. What you can see there is the winged horse, Pegasus. Look at that. How beautiful is that? Hopefully you can just get it on the camera there with the head and the wing. That is the winged horse of Pegasus. Now, what's relevant about that is that it was the emblem of Legio II Augusta. Legio II Augusta That is the legion that came north with Emperor Septimus Severus, who ran through England and Wales and made their way north to Caledonia. This, still here, has stood the test of time. Amidst all this dampness and dankness, it is still clearly visible, and it is a relic, ladies and gentlemen, from the ancient world that is a true beauty. So even with these stones, mostly pre-Roman, they have also used the remainder of a Roman settlement here for some reparation work. It's absolutely amazing. Look at this, all dripping from the ceiling here. Very damp and dank here in the winter. And when it's snowing, a different story with the water level, which likely will go over your ankles. But you are truly underground here, walking into the past. All those many moons ago, even pre-Roman times. What an astonishing gem and piece of history we have here. It's a little different coming out than it is going in because you're on your hands and knees, and like I say, it's incredibly muddy. Make sure you put some very old clothes on to come in here, and you have some covers for your vehicle. But that is worth every single step. I will take you to another souterrain, subterranean chamber, somewhat larger than this one, in another film. But this, to me, just lies out in the countryside, all alone. The things I do. But this, to me, is the prize one that is here in Midlothian. So this is the thing. This chamber is now amidst what is predominantly fertile farmland and crops. And this is normally used to grow rapeseed. But look at this great vista that you get over the land here. Excellent for a settlement. And when the Romans came and they start to interact and fraternize with the local tribes, were the local tribes allies? I think with Roman occupation here, there's not much that they could do about it. Certainly, as we're so near to Deer Street and the A68, which is over that way and runs parallel to this. But we have this strange hillock just on the other side of the road, a couple of fields down there, and it's out of context really with the rest of the land unless you get over into Crichton Valley and Glen above the River Tyne, which is about a mile west that way. But that hillock there, was that a former fort or post used by the Romans? It would certainly benefit the tribes before the Romans were here. But there is no evidence been found here of a Roman camp or their post, and they reckon there are around 70 or 80 dressed carved stones in that subterranean chamber. They are definitively Roman. So they must have been nearby. A settlement would have the chamber nearby, either close to the village boundary or within it. And there you are now. When you look at where the horses are now kept, and that hillock down there, that's quite a prominent part of the landscape, and you would certainly get a great view from all around there. Most likely held by the Votadini tribe. A fabulous place. A very ancient settlement all around here. And with the Romans occupying it for however long, but we do know that Legio II Augusta, their stones have been carried there to where the subterranean chamber lies. And they wouldn't have carried those stones that far. What is underground we've just seen a small part of, in my belief that much of our history is underground, undiscovered, and unexplained. Thank you everyone once again for walking in the footsteps with me. Some of you may like to just view that chamber from the comfort of your couch, but some of you may like to get in there and really get your hands dirty. I am absolutely clarty, but thoroughly enjoyable. That's the first time I've been in this chamber 2 days running. I was there, oh goodness me, I took my son a number of months ago, and before that it had been a few years. But it's always a pleasure getting muddied up, and you never know what you're going to face when you go out there to do these films. And I absolutely love every second of it. It's my passion. As I always say, my channel runs on passion, and it's one of the loves of my life. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. I couldn't do this channel without you. Please comment, please like, share, and above all, subscribe and pass the message on. Until next time, folks.